guys, it's Lizzie. So this is 13 more signs that a guy likes you. Just kidding. I had no idea that that video was going to go viral. I think that the body language indicators that I shared in that video are pretty accurate, but I want to delve deeper into this topic because I think that a guy can like you and be attracted to you and be showing signs that he likes you, but not actually want to be in a relationship. Sometimes a guy will be like testing the waters to kind of see if you're interested at all, even if he isn't like 100% like wanting a relationship. And then other times a guy will be like a player and just kind of be attracted to you but not want commitment at all. The reason I'm saying all of this is because a lot of times we want certainty about how someone feels about us, but often how someone feels about us doesn't really mean anything in itself. A lot of this can lead to us getting hurt, and so a really good rule of thumb that I always follow is to not emotionally open up to someone who you're not close friends with or in a relationship with. I'm talking specifically about a guy who you are attracted to and who you like. I just know that it's a really emotionally vulnerable position to put yourself in, to be emotionally opening up so much and sharing so much about yourself with this guy who you think really likes you. If this guy is just leading you on or sending mixed signals or kind of confused about how he feels and you aren't understanding that right now, then you could get hurt by him. So the best thing to do is just gradually open up to people. Like, don't share a ton about yourself if you're not sure how the guy feels. Be patient and gradual in getting to know guys and wait for their trust to be earned rather than just immediately opening up to everyone. Something else is that if you really like a guy and you want him to like you back, then the tiniest things you'll look at and be like, oh my gosh, that means he likes me, when it really is like something he'd do to anyone he's being friendly towards. For example, if a guy compliments you or hugs you or wants to hang out with you, that might just be normal friend behavior, but because you like this guy, you're interpreting it and seeing it through a different lens. Because of that, it's just always safe to not share so much of yourself with this person who might not be emotionally safe to open up to. Something else that I think is really important to know is that guys do not like commitment. Obviously, people get married, people are in committed relationships, so guys do end up committing, but they don't like it as much as girls do. A guy who I dated a while ago, even after he told me that he really liked me, and he was a really good guy, he still didn't want the label of being in a relationship because it just comes with so many responsibilities. I think that it all comes down to evolution and to sex. I'm not at all saying that this is how it should be, but this is how it is. Women naturally want the guy to commit to them so he can take care of their baby. Whereas the guy is just trying to spread his DNA, and so he'd rather just have sex with people without the commitment involved. That kind of also explains why we have these hypocritical standards of sexuality for men and women. But I think that that evolutionary perspective is why guys don't like commitment. So my advice for when you're talking to a guy, wanting to get into a relationship, wanting him to commit, wondering if he likes you, is to be comfortable with ambiguity. I feel like as girls, we have the tendency to want to know exactly what's going on and to want to label it and to want to call him our boyfriend and have that commitment, but you really need to just relax and be patient. I think that especially now that we don't really have this casual dating culture as much, it's more like hanging out with a guy and then in a committed relationship, and so there can be this like long period of time when you both like each other that you don't really have a label for what's going on. And I think that in a lot of cases you're going to scare away the guy if you're trying to get too serious too fast or wanting him to put a label on it. If this guy really cares about you, then eventually he will commit. And I think that you're just gonna save yourself a lot of emotional distress if you're just comfortable for a little bit with not having a label on it. A guy who really cares about you and is genuine, it might take him a few months of being friends with you before even telling you that he likes you. And some guys are just scared of ruining the friendship because they care so much. Guys who are really genuine, they're not going to like rush into a relationship, and the type of guy who wants to rush into a relationship, a lot of times that's a guy who doesn't actually care about you that much. Also, there's nothing holding you back from talking to him about wanting to be in a relationship. But if it's really clear that you both like each other, don't press it too hard and just be patient and don't force this commitment and force this relationship before the guy's ready, or he'll just feel like really not as comfortable as he should be at the beginning of the relationship. If this guy is spending so much time emotionally investing in you, then I don't think you should worry so much that he hasn't made a move yet, because most guys will not make an effort to consistently talk to you unless they're a little bit attracted to you. There are exceptions where a guy is your best friend or you just click really well together, but a lot of times he is interested and that's why he's talking to you so much. If this guy is investing a lot of time in you and then it turns out that he actually doesn't want to be in a relationship, he still really cares about you. He just knows that he doesn't like you in that way and he doesn't want to hurt you by dating you. A lot of times we get so torn up by someone not liking us or a guy not initiating a relationship, but I think that it's really good to find out at the beginning that someone isn't interested rather than like halfway through a relationship when you guys have gotten so close and you're learning to rely on this guy and then he just kind of breaks up with you. In that ambiguous phase between being friends and in a relationship, if this guy realizes like, hey, I'm actually probably not the type of guy who should be with her, if he realizes that he doesn't like you as much as he thought, it's so good that he's realizing that before you're even more invested in him. And what I talked about before about being careful who you're emotionally opening up to and not emotionally opening up so much so fast, unless you're best friends with a guy and in love with him, I think that it would be really hard to get hurt if you have emotional boundaries. Something else, I think physical boundaries are important. I have a personal rule where I'm not going to kiss a guy unless we're in a relationship. And so not like in that ambiguous phase, but actually like we've talked about it, I'm his girlfriend. Otherwise, I'm not going to kiss a guy because physical touch is one of my love languages. And so stuff like that just affects me. And I know that like any amount of physical contact beyond like hugging a friend occasionally is something that could end up hurting me if the guy doesn't like me. Obviously, sometimes being hurt is inevitable when you're dealing with emotions and love, and that's okay. I think that so often we're uncomfortable being hurt and broken and we want to just like avoid that always, but the ups and the downs are a part of life, and so it's healthy to get hurt sometimes. I also think that we should just be comfortable with ambiguity with how people feel about us, because a lot of times feelings are unclear, and I'm sure that you've been in situations before, I know I have, where I haven't really been 100% sure if I like a guy or not. So a lot of times it's not the guy leading you on or being confusing or sending mixed signals. The guy might not be sure how he feels about you, and that might be hurting you, but he might be doing the best that he can in trying to understand his emotions. Feelings are something that we experience, not something that we create. And so if it's kind of unclear and ambiguous to the guy how he's feeling about you, then obviously like you're not gonna know how he feels because he doesn't even know how he feels. Knowledge from the heart can't always be expressed into logic and into words, and so that's why I think we just all need to become more comfortable with not knowing and not understanding. If someone is sending you mixed signals, leading you on, if you're not really sure what's going on, I think that we just need to show grace to people in situations like that, because sometimes our hearts are so confusing. We're all just trying to figure it out, and I think that it's okay to not always know what you're feeling towards someone. This video might not have been exactly what you were expecting, with more like specific signs of whether or not someone's interested in you, but I think that the reason is because it's not always black and white, clear what someone is feeling. And I don't think you always need to know exactly what's going on when you're interacting with someone. You can kind of just go with it, and if you do get hurt, that's okay, but also just be aware of your emotional boundaries so that you don't have to get like that hurt in situations like this. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to go click the like so that more people can find this video. I make new videos every Monday, so make sure you're subscribed if you're not. I also linked some playlists in the down bar, so if you're new to my channel, there's 200 plus videos, and that can be kind of confusing and overwhelming, so I've grouped them in a ton of different playlists on my channel page, so you can either go in the down bar or go on my channel and find more videos by category for what you want to watch, and I will see you all in a week. Bye!